Patrick Kane reaffirms his legacy as the greatest American hockey player this generation has ever seen. We'll talk about him and everything going on around the league on this week's edition of the Dump and Chase podcast presented by the Hoosier Network. I'm Noah Bedoris with Jack Rizzo and Noah Seuss. Fellas, what's going on?
It's been a great week of hockey. We're gearing up for the Olympics right now. And Patrick Kane, speaking of the U.S. team, almost. He's so... Did he break it?
Break
I don't know
what?
why. He didn't break the... He did break it. What am I talking about?
Yeah, that's what we're talking
I
about.
don't know what I'm doing.
What hockey were you watching last night, Seuss?
What hockey was I watching last night? I was watching the Islanders-Rangers game
Yeah,
last night.
I was watching the Blues game last night. Jimmy Snuggerud had a nice one to end it, but
It was just a great game for the Islanders.
Yeah.
They won 2 straight against the Rangers. Jack, any thoughts on that?
The Rangers are just in a really bad spot right now.
The tank is on, Jack.
Yeah, the tank is fully on. They're gonna get. It doesn't really matter. They're gonna screw up whoever they get with their high draft pick because that's just what they do. But yeah, it's painful. But it's good to see teams like the Isles and some other teams in the East starting to rise up now in the standings.
Yeah, let's move past Patrick Kane and talk about some other key players from the past week. Player of the week, Jack, I'll start with you. Who's yours?
Well, I know we talked about him last week, but I couldn't not pick him again. Andrei Vasilevskiy is having a generational stretch of games. In the last 5 games, he's given up 1 goal in each game. He has been absolutely unbelievable for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're the best team in hockey right now because they don't have the most points, but the Avalanche really haven't been playing well the last few weeks.
No.
Tampa Bay is on a heater right now. You just look at Andrei Vasilevskiy's game log. It's unbelievable. 4 goals given up in the last 5 games. He's won all 5 of those starts. He only has 1 loss going back to December 18th, and that was against the Blues, and that was in a shootout. That almost doesn't even count.
Right.
He hasn't lost in regulation in a month and a half. He has been absolutely ridiculous for the Tampa Bay Lightning, just aging like a fine wine. And Tampa Bay, they have to be the favorite in the Eastern Conference right now, and Vasilevskiy has to be the favorite for the Vezina. No questions asked.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely think that Tampa Bay is the team to beat in the East right now, and there's really not a whole lot of competition around them. I do think that when it comes to playoff time, every year we see teams that are the undisputed best team go down in the first round. And so I don't think that Tampa is even close to a lock for, making it to the even conference finals. Because there's still a lot of teams in the East that I'm taking seriously, like a Montreal, even though they've fallen a little bit, or Buffalo. But yeah, Tampa Bay is looking really good, and Vasilevskiy is a big part of that because we preach every episode that goaltending is probably the most important part of a team, especially a playoff team, and they have the best goalie in the league.
Seuss, real quick, I was really close to picking Darren Radish for Player of the Week. We've talked about him a lot, about how the kind of season he's had. I was really close to picking him, but I had to go with Vasilevskiy just because of the current stretch he's on right now.
Yeah, Darren Radish is playing at a Norris level. Maybe not like a Kale McCarr, but he's still playing a really good game right now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And last week, they were behind the Red Wings in the standings. I don't know if you guys remember. But
Yes.
Now they have jumped the Red Wings, and they still have 3 games in hand.
Yeah.
So I think they really have this division on lock, like they always do. And then looking down the division, do we think Buffalo keeps up with what they're doing and stays in 3rd, or do we think Montreal jumps them?
I think Buffalo might jump up to 2nd, and you might see Montreal jump up into that 3rd spot. I don't believe in the Red Wings for the rest of the season. The big thing for me, and this is very much a me thing, is that goal differential is very important to me for any sport, really. Like looking at the point differential for a team tells you a lot. Detroit is at +5 right now, but they're still at 2nd place in the Atlantic. Buffalo's at +23. They're scoring way more than they're giving up, and they're on a heater right now. They're arguably one of the hottest teams in the league. Detroit's staying afloat, but I think Detroit's a good team. I just see Buffalo as on a trajectory to overtake them.
Do you know how big it would be for Buffalo to get a home playoff game?
Yeah.
Games 1 and 2?
Yeah.
That place would be absolutely rocking. I hope Buffalo gets it.
I do too.
They haven't been there in 15 years. It would be so awesome to see playoff hockey back in Buffalo. They have a very loyal fan base, and they deserve to see playoff hockey in Buffalo again. And it's really awesome too that they're doing this with Lindy Ruff, the man who was really the component of the Sabres during the 2000s when they were a pretty good team, early 2010s. He's back, and the Sabres are back to what they were doing during Lindy Ruff's first tenure with the Sabres.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Buffalo fan. I'm going to talk about them more when we get to Team of the Week. Let's move on to Seuss's player of the week. Buddy, go ahead.
My player of the week is a player that you don't really expect to see on player of the week. It's Jared McCain. He has had 4 goals, 3 assists in his last, 4 games. He has been absolutely awesome for this Kraken team. And they're rolling. They're in a playoff spot right now. They are in third in the Pacific. They have been playing some really good hockey as of late, beating the Devils, Capitals, and Maple Leafs. And McCain has played such a big part in that. And then they play the Golden Knights this weekend. So big test coming for the Seattle Kraken team. Do they stay afloat in this playoff race? The Pacific is so bad, I feel like anyone can make it.
Sure.
Realistically.
I want to ask you about the Kraken. They're a team that we've talked about so far this season because they're staying relevant. They're in the playoff picture, but they don't quite check all those boxes of a team that we think is a playoff team or is going to, make a run. Is there anybody on this Kraken team right now that we think is that true number one that can lead his team in a playoff series?
Offensively, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think if they make it, it's going to be because of their goaltending. Their goaltending's fantastic. But the Kraken are just, I don't really get the Kraken because let's look at their last few games, right? They are so inconsistent. Like right now, they've won 4 of their last 5. Right before that, they lost 6 of 7. They won 4 in a row. They won 8 of 9 before that. They lost 4 in a row before that. Then they lost 6 in a row shortly after that. They're either amazing or they're absolutely terrible.
Yep.
I wrote in my article last week that the Kraken they're either the best team in the Pacific or they're the worst team in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
And there's really no in between. They are so inconsistent, but because of how weak the Pacific Division is this year, these win streaks, losing streaks kind of balance out, and I think it's going to allow them to make the playoffs, but I just don't think they have the consistent scoring to allow them to go far in the playoffs this year.
No, that they benefit greatly from being in the division that they're in. I mean, look at the other 3 divisions. These are the third-place teams in the other divisions and their points. Dallas at 71, Islanders at 65, Buffalo at 67, Seattle 59. If they were in any other division, they would be so mediocre and so middle of the pack, just hovering around a wild card spot. But because they play in a division where the only 2 teams are Vegas and Edmonton, they're probably going to be a playoff team because I don't see. I mean, who could jump them?
The Kings?
The Kings will not.
Seattle would be 7th place in the Atlantic Division right now if they were in the Atlantic.
Yep.
Jeez. The Sharks, maybe?
The Sharks, I believe in the Sharks more than I believe in the Kraken, honestly.
I do too, because the Kraken don't have a player like Macklin Celebrini.
But the Kraken have such good goaltending.
They do.
Because it's give and take, where the Sharks have the guy in Celebrini and the Kraken lack that guy. But Seattle has such good goaltending, and San Jose kind of lacks that to some degree.
They do. It really just depends on if the Sharks can get consistent scoring or consistent goaltending the rest of the year, and Seattle gets better offense. It depends on what's going to be more consistent. Is Seattle's offense going to be more consistent, or is San Jose's goaltending going to be more consistent? And I think that will decide who's in 3rd place in that division.
I would argue that if I am Edmonton, we'll say, and you're playing one of them in the first round of the playoffs, I would so much rather play the San Jose Sharks because you can worry about your offense and think we just got to put up 3 or 4 goals a night. And we're feeling pretty good, and just contain Macklin Celebrini. It's sort of, I mean, it's very much an NBA style of approach when you're playing the Sharks, where, most NBA teams, the best ones have that one guy, and if you can let Giannis just get his 40 points and let nobody else do anything, you're going to beat the Bucks. It's the same philosophy with the Sharks.
And the Sharks also have 0 playoff experience, considering how young their roster is.
Seattle has some guys, but nobody that's been there really together. I mean, they went to the playoffs, 3 years ago?
Yeah, first year.
I mean, Vince Dunn has playoff experience. I mean, obviously Gruby has playoff experience. There's guys on this team that are vets, but
have we talked about Philip Grubauer on this show at all this year?
I don't think we have.
He's been out. I mean, in 21 starts, he has a 19 save percentage.
Yeah.
Like, their goaltending is fantastic. I mean, he's not even their number 1. Joey Decord is, and Joey Decord's been good too. I mean, hell, Matt Murray.
Matt Murray's their 3rd. He's at 2.21 right now.
I haven't heard of
9.22 save percentage.
I haven't heard of Matt Murray since like 2017.
He has their best numbers.
Yeah.
Matt Murray in 5 games has the best goalie numbers on this tandem.
Somehow doesn't have a win, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Might just be lack of scoring for when Matt Murray plays.
Yeah,
no run support.
I mean, it's
like the Mets with Jacob deGrom all those years.
He's the Paul Skeens of hockey.
Yeah.
All right, my player of the week is a guy. I feel like he might have gotten player of the week one time earlier this year. I'm not sure about that, but he's been hanging around that top 10 point leader the entire season. It's David Pastrnak. This guy is kind of being a force right now, and Boston's a team that I gave up on, but he's leading the Bruins into relevance again. 6 points in his past 4 games. Had that overtime goal against the Predators. A 3-assist night against the Rangers, and the Bruins won 4 of their past 5, and they're still in a playoff spot. How are you thinking about Boston right now?
The thing is with Boston, I feel Morgan Geeky's playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you look at their goaltending so far, I love Jeremy Swayman. I've talked about him a lot on this show. He is going to be in the Vezina race. He's the main focal point in this Bruins team. But besides, if you look at their scoring, it's Pasta, Morgan Geeky, and then a far fall off after that.
Yeah.
Elias Lindholm with 37 points, Pavel Zacha with 37, McAvoy with 36.
Yeah, but that's still...
It's pretty good. But it's a fall off.
The Kraken don't have anybody with more than 37 points. And so Boston still fills that credential where you have 2 guys that are actually leading your way. You have Pasta and you have Geeky that are at 50-plus points right now. And then you have a decent amount of supporting cast. I disagree. I think that Boston's offense looks really good right now, statistically and on paper. And, you've guys that have incredible plus minuses right now. And, Jack, you're the power play guy. How are their special teams right now?
Their power play has been outstanding. They're fourth in the league.
Yeah.
Right, only behind Edmonton, Dallas, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I think Boston's giving me every reason to believe in them right now.
Okay, their penalty killing is awful, but Jeremy Swayman's been good.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeremy Swayman's been good, and not to mention, you have Montreal also sucks at penalty killing, and Montreal's in second or third place in the division right now. But
Montreal's out of the division right now. They're 4th in the division right now.
Fourth, yeah. I mean, they're tied for third, which
I guess, yeah.
But
isn't there like 3 teams?
Yeah, 3 teams all have 67 points. The crazy thing about the East is that the 8 teams that are currently in playoff position are in playoff position pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just about to ask about that. Yeah, go ahead.
The next wildcard team is 8 points back of Boston. The only thing that maybe could get a little interesting is third place in the Metro, but even then, the Isles are 6 points ahead of the Capitals, who are next. In fact, I think Columbus is probably the next best team out of the 3 in that division.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably like an 80 to 90% chance, maybe even higher, that the 8 teams that are currently in playoff position will be the 8 teams that are in the playoffs once April comes around.
I was thinking about that this morning. Is there anybody that could make that jump? Because obviously there's teams that we think are talented. Florida we think is still good, and they're coming back from injuries. Washington is still Washington. Jersey is still a team, could be the team that we expect them to be. Ottawa I like on paper. Toronto, who knows what's going on. But they're digging themselves into such a hole right now. Is it too late for them to come back?
Ooh, a team like Toronto, time is ticking very quickly for them right now. I think they're way too far out of it right now. But there's if you look at the bottom of the East, there's 4 teams 10 points back. The Leafs, the Flyers, the Sens, and the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those teams come close.
Yeah, but okay.
Maybe the Blue Jackets.
Here's part of my thinking is that outside of the Rangers, every single team that is out of the playoff picture in the East is separated by 2 points. And so if you're the Leafs, for example, and you're in, 15th place in the Eastern Conference, it's not like you have to climb a big mountain to get to the playoffs. You have to be a little bit better than 7 teams, and you're at the top of the in the hunt. And then you just got to hope that a team like Boston or a team like Montreal or Buffalo just falls off. Like there doesn't have to be that much that happens for a team like the Flyers or the Leafs or the Senators to make a playoff push.
I feel like all year we have been talking about this Boston Bruins team expecting a fall off to happen soon.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything dictating they're gonna fall off. But it's just like there's no leeway here for any of these teams, in my opinion.
Well,
if you think Buffalo is gonna make it, then I don't see a world where Florida or Toronto or Ottawa or any of these teams, besides the teams in the Metro.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Boston's schedule, for example, right now.
Their schedule's not even that difficult.
They don't play anybody.
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
they play. I'm really excited to see them play Tampa this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the Stadium
Series, and they get Florida, and then the break happens, and they come back and they play the Jackets, the Flyers, Pens, Pens, Preds, Capitals, Penguins, Kings. Like they don't play a playoff team until
Pittsburgh, March 3rd.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's still a playoff team?
They're in second place
Are
in the
they
Metro.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
second place.
I guess I kept expecting them to fall off. Yeah, but they have 65 points. Does that count? Does that count as a playoff team?
I mean, when second place in the West, when third place in the West has like 59, I think it should.
Nice. I don't count Seattle as a
I mean,
playoff team.
like, look, Pittsburgh's third in power play, they're fourth in penalty killing.
Okay. All right.
I mean, Sush, you're going to talk about it more,
talk about
spoiler
it,
alert,
yeah.
but I mean, have we gone through all of our players of the week?
Yeah, we have.
Yep.
I guess-
Seuss, go ahead.
Let's just jump right in.
Team of the week.
Team of the week is the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have won 5 straight this week. Stuart Skinner, man, has looked really good in Pittsburgh.
Sometimes all he needs is a change of scenery.
Exactly. And I'm not saying Tristan Jarry hasn't looked good in Edmonton, but Pittsburgh has been absolutely rolling lately. We keep, like I said, it's the same thing with Boston. We're expecting this dramatic fall off, and it just hasn't happened. They keep getting points, getting the win, and Crosby's been playing great too. Crosby, Malkin is still playing at a high level. I think this Pittsburgh team is awesome. And like Jack mentioned, they have great special teams. They're, what are they, top 5 in both power
Top 5 in
play
both.
and penalty kill? So if they keep this up, I think they're 100% a playoff team.
I could get behind that, but we were just talking about Boston's end of season schedule. If you look at Pittsburgh's end of season schedule, it is very, very difficult. Like, they're on this 5-game win streak. Those wins, though, are against Seattle, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Chicago. Edmonton's the only playoff team out of those 5. I mean, you come back from the break, you play Buffalo twice, you play the Bruins twice. They have a 5-game road trip in March at Carolina, at Vegas, at Utah, at Colorado, and at Carolina again. Those are all 5 of those teams are going to be playoff teams this year. So I think we're going to really see what the Penguins are made of once we come back from the Olympic break. I really think that out of the 8 teams that are currently in the playoffs, I think Pittsburgh is the most vulnerable to dropping out. My opinion.
I agree. But the thing with them right now is that they have a 6-point cushion on the Capitals. How bad does Pittsburgh have to play for Washington to overtake them? Because I really don't think. I mean, let's look at Washington's schedule. Let's see what they're up to in the next month. But you know what I'm saying? Like you're building enough space right now where all right, Washington has Islanders, Flyers, Preds. That's how they end, and then they come back and play the Flyers again. So those 4 are very winnable. But then they get Vegas, Habs, Utah, Boston. They're going to get the Sabres. They're going to get Boston again.
Well, it's not going to be the Caps who I'm worried about overtaking them.
Really? Who is then?
It's my team of the week. Can I jump
Go
into
ahead,
it?
go
Jump right in.
My team of the week, Rick Bowness and the Columbus Blue Jackets, finally turning a corner. They have won 6 of their first 7 under Rick Bowness. They have really found new life there in Columbus. I really think that there is a chance that the Blue Jackets could crawl back into the playoff picture. They're 8 points back of the playoff picture, but they also have 2 games on hand of the Islanders, who are in 3rd place. And if you look at Columbus's second half schedule compared to Pittsburgh's, it's really not. They're like Boston. They don't really play anybody. They come back from the break. They play teams like they play Philly and the Rangers and Seattle at home and Philly and San Jose at home. They have Winnipeg at home. I really think that Columbus has a chance to potentially climb back into the playoff picture, especially with the way Jack Greaves is playing, who has quietly been one of the better goaltenders in the league. You have a Vezina trophy. Actually, Zach Werenski might be the Vezina favorite right now with the way. If you look at his stats, he has been ridiculous. Not to mention that he's missed some time. He was on IR for a little bit. I really think that if Columbus can keep up their scoring, they've finally started to score more as of the last couple of weeks. If they can keep this up, I think they are the most likely team in the Metro who's not in playoff position to come back and assert themselves into playoff position.
I find it a little funny, Jack, that your team of the week played 2 games in the past week, but still,
it's really a multi-week development, and that's kind of why I'm talking about them.
The thing that I don't even know if the word impresses me or just catches my attention with Columbus is that they played 2 games. not in a back-to-back, but the 2 back-to-back games, Dallas and Tampa Bay. Dallas, you win 1-0. Tampa, you win 8-5.
You can win in multiple ways.
They're able to hang with these top dogs in every possible way. They can win, the gritty, the 1-0s, but then they can also, win the I don't know what you want to call it.
A shootout.
I mean, there's a phrase I can say, but I don't really want to say it on air. But
you can tell us after the show.
But yeah, winning those 8-5 contests against Tampa, they're a team that is winning in every way.
Yeah, like their final 4 games before the break are Chicago, St. Louis, New Jersey, and Chicago again. Realistically, that should be at least 3 out of 4, maybe four more wins for them.
Yeah, realistically, but
it's so weird to think their only loss in these last couple games was just Ottawa.
Yeah,
and Ottawa hasn't looked awesome. Then they go out and beat Dallas 1-0, and like Chet Graves is just awesome superstar goalie who comes in, and then 8-5 game against Tampa. They can't pick the direction in which way they want to go. If they're a whole goal-scoring team or if they're a goaltending, defensive, dominant Eastern Conference team.
I want to give a shout-out to Matthew Olivier. I think one of the most underappreciated enforcers in recent NHL history. Everyone talks about Ryan Reeves, and Matt Rempe got a lot of praise, but Matthew Olivier is probably the best fighter in the league right now. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that guy lose a fight before.
This is totally off topic and random, but are you guys on the Blue Jackets website right now?
No, I'm on ESPN.
Okay. If you're on the Blue Jackets website, they have a little, terrible CGI stinger mascot.
I kind of want to see it now.
He's kind of, Clippy?
Oh, yeah, Clippy?
He's kind of acting like Clippy, where you can, ask him questions about the Blue Jackets. I just clicked on him. Oh, now it opens, the AI chat.
BlueJackets.com. Let's see what we got. Let's see what...
You see him?
Oh, yeah, there he is.
There he is.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's his name? Stinger?
Stinger.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What a beauty.
All right, you guys both had your team of the week?
Yep.
All right, my team of the week is the Buffalo Sabres, the team of destiny right now in the East, the team that everybody wants to see in the playoffs. We already talked about them. They went a perfect 3-0 in the past week with a 5-0 win over the Isles, 7-4 win over the Leafs, and a 4-1 win over the Kings. Their past 5 games, they are averaging 5 goals a game. The offense is looking really good in Buffalo. They've jumped Montreal. They're in 3rd place right now. We already talked a little bit about Buffalo, but a little more won't hurt. I like this team a lot.
I'm really interested in how great Alex Tuch is playing right now. He's playing at a high level, and he's been a main focal point in this Buffalo Sabres offense, him and Tage Thompson.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks, I have been really tempted to put both of them as my player of the week multiple times, and I just haven't. But this Buffalo team is flying. I really hope they just make the playoffs. Goaltending, Alex Lyon and UPL, just playing phenomenal. Both have under a 2.8 goals against and over a 900 save percentage. They're both just playing awesome. And if the Sabres keep this up, 100% they should be in the playoffs.
The guy who's impressed me recently, and I always want to say his name wrong, but I believe it's Ryan McLeod. Is that how you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
McLeod.
You got it.
He's been an assist machine recently. 2 assists against the Kings, 1 against Toronto, 2 against the Islanders, 1 against Montreal. 4 straight games with at least 1. And that's really his main output of points this year. Out of his 37 points, 26 of them are assists. He's a guy that has been kind of an unsung hero for the Sabres team, but is being so consistent in dishing out those assists.
I just realized that I think I snubbed Rasmus Dahlin of Player of the Week, possibly. I mean, if you look at his last 3 games, I mean, he had a 5-point night the other night against Toronto as a defenseman.
Yeah.
3 goals, 2 assists. He has a +7 over the last 3 games.
Pretty good.
I mean, this guy's also in the conversation for the Vezina.
Sure.
Or for the Norris.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. And yeah, I really, they're just fun to watch. I mean, if you just watch Buffalo Sabres hockey, you're going to have a good time. I mean, they have so many fun pieces on this team. I just really wonder how much better they'd be if they had kept J.J. Peterka and not traded him to Utah. But I think we're going to see this Buffalo team maybe do a little something at the trade deadline, maybe get another top forward in the top 6 to really help improve this power play. But Buffalo does basically everything else well. Their defensemen have been outstanding. I mean, you've got Matthias Samuelsson at a +28. You've got Ryan McLeod's a +18 on the offensive side. Bowen Byram's a +12. Buffalo's just doing a lot of things well right now. And the moment they went on that winning streak at the start, I just knew it was going to be sustainable. Because again, there were signs at the beginning of the season, right? They had the best penalty kill in the league for the first 2 months. Their goaltending has been great all year. It was just once this offense got hot, they were going to start to make a playoff push.
It was like a running joke on this show that every week we would talk about like team of the week, and they went 4-1 on the week, and their one loss was to Buffalo. Even when Buffalo was the worst team in the league, they were still playing spoiler all the time.
I want to include one thing.
Go ahead.
Josh Norris has been injured for a long time. He's coming back February 2nd to this Buffalo Sabres team. So that's another guy for this offense. They are going to be deadly when Norris comes back to the lineup.
Yeah, kind of adding on to what Jack was saying, where I definitely agree with Norris, but Norris is also registered as a center. The help that they need the most of the deadline is going to be on your wings. And I'm going to be interested to see what they go after. Because like you said, the defense is perfect. Most of their top players are a center or sometimes move to a wing. But a pure winger would be...
I know a guy.
Who's that?
Artemi Panarin.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun. If Buffalo gets Artemi Panarin, they get that true top winger. You pair him with Tage Thompson and some of the other young guys in that offense. They're probably you could argue they're up there with Tampa Bay. And they're only 3 points back at Tampa Bay, or 5 points back of Tampa Bay right now. And I think they have a much more likely chance than Detroit of overtaking Tampa. I don't think anyone's going to overtake Tampa, but I think if there's one team to do it in this division, it's the Buffalo Sabres, because they have goaltending too. And I don't think Montreal's goaltending is good enough.
Another team that I think could somewhat come close to overtaking Tampa is Montreal.
Yeah.
Montreal, if they get hot at the right time, I think Montreal could do a lot of damage in this division. They just beat Colorado 7-3 the other day. Colorado's kind of slipping a little bit. They've been losing a lot of games in regulation recently.
Yeah.
Which is unlike them this year.
The other team that I think could be a possible suitor to trade with Buffalo, and I definitely agree that the Rangers could, be involved in that. But if you want to go interconference, the St. Louis Blues could very much be sellers at this deadline.
Which winger do you think they would want? Buchnevich?
Kyrou.
Okay.
I think Kyrou has a big contract, but I think the most upside is on him, and he's probably the most likely piece that the Blues would want to get rid of. I don't see them partying with Robert Thomas or Jake Neighbors. Buchnevich could. Yeah, I would say it'd be Buch or Kyrou. I think that Thomas is untouchable. I think Jake Neighbors is untouchable.
I think they should be all in on Artemi Panarin.
Yeah.
That would just be...
Or go get both.
Yeah.
Man, the Sabres would look really good if they had both.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch the Sabres the rest of the season. I really don't see a world where they slip up just because I think their success is so sustainable. And go back to Montreal, I just don't think so. I think Montreal's great. They're having a great year. I still think they are 1 year away from being like the true best team in the Atlantic. They're going to get there. They're going to get there eventually. It's just not this year.
You got to wait for Tampa to stop being the the Habs aren't going to be that team until Tampa Bay, either falls off or loses pieces or ends this era. I think this Tampa Bay roster is sustainable, and they're going to be this good
I think
for
it's
a while.
once Montreal gets goaltending, I think they might be better because I think their offense is better. I think their offense is better as is.
Yeah.
Tampa just has Vasilevsky,
Right.
and Montreal has. Jacob Fowler is good, but he doesn't hold the candle to Andre Vasilevsky with the way he's playing right now.
All right, not team of the week. Seuss, who is it?
So my not team of the week is a team that loses a lot. The Calgary Flames. They didn't do anything bad. They just usually do what they do. They lose. So they started this week off by losing to Washington, 3-1. A 4-3 loss in overtime to the Ducks. They were up 2-0 in the first period of that game. And the 4-1 loss to the Wild. Calgary is a weird team. When you look at the stats, they have no one over 37 points. It's kind of like the Kraken to an extent.
But they don't win.
And it's funny because Calgary's goaltending is actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Devin Cooley's tied with Vasilevsky for best save percentage right now.
They just don't score.
Yeah.
Seattle at least can score sometimes. Calgary just scores never. They just don't ever score.
Nazem Kadri is the face of your franchise right now.
With 9 goals.
Kind of sad.
And Nazem Kadri was like the 8th best player on a Colorado Avalanche team a few years ago, and he is the face of Calgary.
Yeah. They're definitely going to sell more pieces at the deadline. They already traded Rasmus Anderson. I think Nazem Kadri's probably gone. I think Huberdeau's might be gone.
Yeah, that's my question. Who do you keep? Who is worth holding on to?
Coronado,
Dustin Wolf.
Frost.
Well, because you're paying Wolf all that money.
Coronado and Frost
Dustin
are
Wolf's also
young.
so young though.
Yeah, he's what, like 22,
Yeah,
21?
and you have two good goaltenders for the future.
Yeah. That's I think their most untouchable, aspect of their game is that if they can hold on to this goaltending, he's 24. Hold on to this goaltending tandem, and just kind of build around him with some offense.
I think the big three you're building around, the big three young pieces, Coronado, Frost, and Farabee. They're all under the age of 26. You build around those three forwards. And then you could try, I think Rasmus Anderson could be oh no, he's gone. He's already traded. I was going to say he could be traded, but he's already traded. I forgot about that trade. Backlund, Kadri, even Huberdeau to an extent. I could see them all being shopped. But Kadri's contract is so big, I don't think a team would be willing to take it.
Yikes. What happened to Jonathan Huberdeau? 23 points in 47 games.
This was a guy scoring 100 points.
Wasn't Huberdeau the piece they got back in the Matthew Tkachuk trade?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. What a terrible trade that was for Calgary.
The thing that scares me about the Flames, if you're a Flames fan, is that you're entering the rebuild right now. You're in the middle of this rebuild. You have good goalies. You have some young pieces to build around. And the rest of your division is not great. But they're going to get better. Like, your biggest fear right now is that I believe that Seattle will get better, Anaheim will get better, San Jose will all get better. So right now, there might only be 2 teams that you take seriously in the Pacific, but in the next couple years, there's going to be 5. I strongly believe that. And so Calgary, I really don't think can get out of this rut anytime soon, as long as, because I mean, the best way to put it is that Calgary is rebuilding, but Anaheim and San Jose are already 2 years ahead of them.
And this was a team that had a great year last year, even though they didn't make the playoffs. They had 96 points.
Yeah.
They were in the playoff race until the end. They actually just missed due to the tiebreaker, and the Blues made it.
Yep.
So before the year, I think I was really high on this Flames team, considering the year they just missed.
I think I picked them to be my biggest step back.
And they took a massive step back.
Or I think I picked Vancouver. I think you picked Calgary.
I picked Calgary.
I took Vancouver. So we were both right.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Vancouver did have 90 points.
Yeah.
The Pacific took a big step back.
The Pacific is terrible, but it's going to get better.
It's going to be great in a couple years.
I strongly believe that. Especially San Jose. I think San Jose is going to be really good in a few years.
They're getting close.
Yeah. Same with totally different context. Chicago.
Same thing.
Chicago, San Jose could be your Cup final in like 5 years.
Well, no, they're both in the West.
It's conference final.
That I was thinking. Yeah, wrong one. Eastern Conference Finals, or Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm so confused
there
today.
You go.
You guys made the record time an hour earlier, and I had to get up earlier.
Oh,
on you.
Yeah, it's our fault, of course. Okay.
Whoever took the studio after us.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
All right, where are we at?
Not team of the week. Jack or Noah, it's one of you.
I'll go. My not team of the week is a team that has most of the nation of Canada angry right now, and that is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have not won a game in 2 weeks. They are 0-5-1 in their past 6, 0-4 this week. And they're kind of the opposite. I talked about Buffalo, who has been scoring 5 goals a game in their past 5. Toronto has given up 5 goals a game in their past 6, and they are sank near the basement of the Eastern Conference. Nothing looks good for Toronto, but they still have the pieces, and that's why it's so frustrating for hockey fans in general, but specifically those Leafs fans, where you're a team built to win, you're being promised winning, you're seeing winning from the past few years, and then for no reason, the winning stops this year.
I think this is the biggest punch in the face to the Leafs fans, to their GM, how good Mitch Marner has been this season in Las Vegas. He doesn't need Toronto. They needed him. I don't think that... What's wrong in Toronto? Remember we went on that whole crazy rant a couple weeks ago
about goaltending.
About their goaltending.
The goaltending's actually
the goaltending's been
right
fine.
Now.
Wasn't William Nylander my player of the week last week?
Hillsby's been good.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
It's all been good, but their offense has just not been producing. I don't know. It's just been terrible hockey in Toronto, and the fans, they're paying. It's not cheap to go to Leafs games.
No.
Leafs games these days, and they're paying good money to watch this team do absolutely nothing.
Well, here's the thing with the Leafs, and part of why it's frustrating. Like, look back at their past month of games. Their losses: 4-3 overtime, 2-1 overtime, 6-5 overtime, 4-3 overtime, 2. Oh, no, that 4-3 was a win. 2-1 overtime. And then you have some bad losses in there: a 7-4, a 6-3, a 6-3, a 4-1, 5-2.
They've lost by 3 goals in their last 4 games.
Yeah, like they're hanging. Every loss is either they're hanging and they just barely, losing overtime or in a shootout, or they get blown out by a bad team. It's
unexplainable.
Yeah, so that was my thinking. It was like seeing the results of Toronto and thinking, well, maybe they're just losing close games, but really they're not. Like they're losing a few close ones, but they're also just playing bad hockey.
And I don't think they're getting the goal scoring they need from Austin Matthews.
Not at all.
He's not having a bad year, but
He's not
with the
having
way
an
the rest of the
Austin
offense is,
Matthews
they
year.
need him to be like the Austin Matthews we saw a couple years ago when he was a 70-goal scorer.
Yeah, he needs to, on the stat sheet, be a substantial amount better than the rest of the team. He can't be, hovering around with a group of 4 or 5 guys that are all having solid seasons. He needs to be better than the solid seasons.
If you look at Austin Matthews from years past, he has a 1 ± this year. 1.
Yep.
In years past, he has had, last year he had 11, and 2 years before that, he had a 31. His line is not producing.
You know something funny I just realized? So last year, Toronto played Ottawa in the first round of the playoffs. Toronto and Ottawa are the 2 worst teams in the Atlantic this year. In the Central Division, St. Louis played Winnipeg in the first round.
Oh my God.
St. Louis and Winnipeg are the 2 worst teams in the Central this year.
Such a weird sport.
It really is. It's so incredibly strange. But, I will say with Toronto, couldn't happen to a nicer fan base. It's bad. Like, you just look at the stats and it makes sense why they're playing so well. When you have John Tavares having a -16,
That's terrible.
Matthew Nyes having a -12, Morgan Riley a -15.
Ekman Larson is a 0.
Yeah, and when you trade it, he's a defensive defenseman, and when you trade for a guy like that, that's unacceptable.
Yep.
They don't.
It
Their
goes
power
on
play.
and on.
Their power play is awful. Their penalty kill's decent, but again, that's not really going to do much for you when you don't score. Yeah, it's too late for Toronto. They're not going to make it to the playoffs.
Who is their goalie 1 right now?
Well, it's probably Stolarz now that he's back.
Okay.
But I don't really know.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusing pieces there. And Stolarz is your worst on paper goalie too. Which
How
is part
much
of the
longer
issue.
does Craig Berube last?
Not much longer.
Not
Yeah,
much.
there's no way they can keep him for much longer. I
No.
mean, you can't be last. You can't go from winning the division to being in last place 1 year later.
And Toronto fans won't accept it much longer with this happening.
Dude,
They're
Craig
gonna
Berube,
throw a fit.
everything good that's ever happened to him is because of a few good months in St. Louis. He has built a name and a reputation as a winner because he won a cup with a very, team of destiny, Cinderella story in St. Louis. And without that firing and without Jordan Binnington, he is not an NHL
You know who
head
he's
coach.
like? He's like Davey Martinez, the
Yeah.
former Nats,
Good
the former Nats
comparison.
manager.
Yes, he is.
Davey Martinez was an awful manager.
Yep.
Because the Nats got hot for a couple months in 2019 and won a World Series.
Yep.
They kept him for 5 more years than they should have. He was an awful manager.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, the Blues fans right now are way more happy with Jim Montgomery and losing than you were with Craig Berube and the years after the 2019 Cup, just because Berube's not a good head coach.
I don't think they should fire Montgomery.
Oh, I agree. I think Jim Montgomery is one of the few good pieces that you have in general.
They just don't have enough high-end talent necessarily.
Yep, I agree. I think but you have guys that
You have talent.
are supposed to be those guys. You have your Kyrus and your Robert Thomases and your Jake Neighbors and your Pavel Buchneviches, but it's almost like you're betting on one of them to be the top point getter and be the guy and lead your team to a playoff, and none of them are doing that. They're all playing exactly at face value when you're gambling on one of them being better than expected.
And you need one of them to show up.
And kind of the same thing with the Leafs right now is that
Yes.
you have Nylander, Matthews, Tavares, Knees. That's it. Yeah, those 4 guys. And
Mitch Marner's been better than all of them.
And you're forgetting Bobby McMahon has 17 goals.
but
What
out,
is
out of those top
happening?
4, you're hoping that one of them, you're assuming Austin Matthews, but one of them can be at 60 points right now, but none of them can get past 50.
Dude, Mitch is thriving in Vegas. You got
He
it.
is.
I love it.
Everybody's thriving in Vegas right now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they're actually not playing that well right now. They've lost 3 in a row. They have, oh my goodness, they have 14 overtime losses.
Oh,
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Overtime merchants.
They might have 20 overtime losses by the end of the year.
What's the record? I'm gonna look that up. What?
I mean, like, it's ridiculous. I mean, Vegas and Toronto are separated by 1 win. Toronto's last place in the
18.
Atlantic. Vegas is first place in the Pacific.
Yeah.
So the record's 18 by Florida in 2011, 2012,
Yeah,
and they
they'll break
tie
that.
it with Tampa.
They will definitely break that.
I mean, the Kings have 13. They're right behind them. Overtime losses.
The Pacific Division just loses in overtime. Apparently,
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah,
This is why no one has more than 59 points in a third.
I mean,
place.
Seattle has
spot.
9. That's not too far off either.
Just crazy. I don't know what the Pacific Division even is at this point.
It'll be good in like 3 years. All right, not team of the week. Who hasn't gone? Jack?
Check.
Okay.
Yeah, my not team of the week. This is really just me making a point. It's the Nashville Predators because I was 100% right about what I said about the Nashville Predators last week. Their success was a complete anomaly. It is time to completely tear it down, trade every veteran at the trade deadline. They need to get younger. Barry Trotz needs to realize that this team needs a fresh start. They need to rebuild, and they have some good pieces. Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg, Stamkos, Yossi, Jose Saros, they all need to be on the trade block. Nashville cannot be okay with just being stuck in the middle of this division. You get younger, you have a chance to make a name for yourself in a couple years. Nashville's not going to make the playoffs. They're 5 points out of a playoff spot now. Every team ahead of them is better. They're 6 points back of Utah now, 5 points back of Seattle and Anaheim. It's time for Nashville to sell at the trade deadline. They cannot screw this up. They need to realize that this is the time to completely tear it down. And we need to see Nashville. It's okay for Nashville to suck next year with a bad roster. It will help them over time. And if they sell at the trade deadline this year and they get a lot of pieces back, it'll look exciting for them in 2 to 3 years when they start to rebuild themselves.
My problem is with Nashville is they just overpaid. They didn't overpay. They overyeared everybody on that team.
The 2025 offseason was really bad.
Forsberg for 5 years. 5 years left on his contract. Stamkos has 3 years left. Marchessault has 4. Ryan O'Reilly has 2. The only guys that have 1 year left are Michael Bunting and Eric Holla.
It's bad.
That is really bad. Teams would want those guys because that could be good role players on a playoff team. But you have Brady Shea for what? 5 more years? What is the direction here?
What happened to Marshy?
The thing that shows zero direction with Nashville right now is that you're not relevant. You're not in a playoff position at all. There's not a whole lot of moves you can do to make at a deadline that could push you to a playoff position. And your top 3 point scorers are all over the age of 30. There is nobody on this team that is that young spark plug. You don't have a Macklin Celebrini or Connor Bedard, and you're not close enough to be in position to draft one. And so they're in no man's land right now where, like you said, Seuss, you're giving out big contracts to old guys who are supposed to be carrying your team, but there's nobody that's going to be around for the future. I mean, even Roman Josi's 35 years old. He's still high up.
3 more years.
Yeah. How old is Bunting?
Michael Bunting is
Bunting's 30. There's nobody on this team.
Luke, I don't even know how to say that name. Zach, you got it?
Evangelista? He's 23.
Who is this? Yeah.
He's the youngest player on the team.
Evangelista, I think.
Yeah, he's 23.
They have some pieces.
But
This need to be done.
I mean, Philip Forsberg could be another fun piece maybe for Buffalo to get.
But that's a long contract for $8.5
Eric
million
Howell's
for
34.
31 years.
Or nobody on this team is younger than age 30. The top 7 point getters outside of Evangelista are at least 30. It's incredible. And this is who they built their team with.
Tyson Jost is the next youngest player at 27 years old. Holy moly!
You could also
on the offense.
Buffalo could also get Ryan O'Reilly and move Tage Thompson back to right wing where he's played most of his career.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad because it's only $4.5 million contract. And
you also
he's
get
a guy.
that. You get that locker room presence.
You get that. Yeah, you get that veteran back in your locker room.
And Stanley Cup experience. Also.
Stanley Cup champion. I think.
And he's still producing. Almost a point per pay.
For the same reason, game. I mean, you could get O'Reilly or Stamkos. Guys that are proven winners.
I really want to see Stamkos back in Tampa. I could really see that happening.
I mean, if you're Buffalo, Ryan O'Reilly could be your first move, and then you go after somebody who's a little bit younger and with some playoff experience, like a Karen or a Kairu or whoever.
All right, Jack, I see one problem with Steven Stamkos going to Tampa Bay. They don't have cap space for Steven Stamkos. His contract's worth $8 million per year. Their projected cap space right now is negative $1 million.
That's not good.
What about long-term IR? Can they do that?
Let's see what they can plug on there. Braden Point maybe could probably
just do long-term IR.
They have no one on there right now.
Maybe Vegas will get him and then move players to long-term IR.
Like they always do.
Yeah.
All right, running out a little bit of time. Let's move into what we're looking forward to in the next week. I'll go first. The Habs and the Sabres.
That's
puck drop on Saturday. That's going to be a big one. Two teams that are very hot, very fun. Honestly, two teams that I like a lot. Two teams I enjoy watching. This will be one that I'll definitely want to tune into.
My game of the week, or what I'm looking forward to, is a classic NHL rivalry between the Avalanche and the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, yeah.
If you're asking me, I think the Red Wings should definitely be in the Western Conference and not in the East because this rivalry is so good. One day we're going to see a Stanley Cup final between these two teams, and it's going to be absolute cinema to watch.
I'm going to round it out with the other two teams in playoff position in the Atlantic. Boston, Tampa are playing in the Stadium Series down in Florida, which, by the way, that's really stupid.
Nobody's happy about that.
Yeah. I think I might write a column about why the NHL, there's more talent in the league than there's ever been, in my opinion. They can't capitalize on it, though. The league just can't. They're falling behind every other
Stadium Series
league.
and Winter Classic were both in Florida.
Oh, that's terrible.
The Winter Classic has just been ruined.
What I'm going to say is...
Dude, New Year's Eve Winter Classic in Chicago, that was a good time.
What I'm going to say is
Were you
Tampa...
there?
No, but I was doing nothing that night, so I was watching it, and Blues won because we're great in the Winter Classic. And
Tampa is expecting their first snowstorm in years for Sunday. What is it, Sunday night?
Yeah.
Sunday day? Yeah, they're expecting their first snowstorm in 20 years. Of course, on the Stadium Series.
Yeah.
You know who's great in the Winter? You know
that?
who's great in the Winter Classic? You know who has never lost an outdoor game before?
The New York Rangers.
You know why we should tear down the roof at Madison Square Garden and they should just play outdoors every game?
People would be mad, Jack. They'd be cold.
Heck, I think if Hurricane Sandy reemerged, I think the Rangers will play better in that than what they play in right now.
I mean, you might have to pit them against each other because the Blues are also 3-0 in outdoor games in their history. So a Blues Rangers
out Stadium Series
next year
for all the marbles.
Yeah.
Who is the outdoor champ?
For the king of the pond.
King of the pond. I like that.
Yeah.
Batman, write down ideas right now.
Write that down. All right. Any final thoughts?
Let's see.
You don't have to if you don't have any.
I don't think I have anything.
Well, that's perfect.
I got all my points across.
Jack, you good?
I am amazed that we went an entire episode without Noah Seuss talking about the New York Islanders.
I know. That's why I gave him a chance, but there's nothing to talk about right now.
They're just consistent. They're just been consistent.
They're pretty good. They're a good hockey team. All right, well, that'll do it for us here for the Dump and Chase podcast, presented by the Hoosier Network. I've been Noah Bedoris with Jack Rizzo and Noah Seuss. We'll see you next week.